In 1941, the German army began to round up the Jewish people, especially in Lithuania. One of those real terrible moments for the Jewish community when the German army rounded up them and thousands of Jews were murdered mercilessly. But one German army sergeant by name Anton Skimd was daring enough. He was so daring that he was not bothered about anybody, but he said, "This is really atrocious. Let me save humanity." And he took up this task. He managed to hide many of the Jews, give them food, look after them, supply as much as they want, and later on forged some papers and send them out of that place. Skim himself later on was arrested because they came to know that Anton Skim did all these notorious things of saving 250 Jewish people and send them out of the regime of Hitler. And therefore you find that this man, Skim, was tried and later on put to death. Something that we know is after 60 years, the German people acknowledge his great work, that even though being a German, saved all the Jewish people, gave them that protection, gave his life for them. And that is how he was awarded after his death, that too after 60 long years. Too many people bowed to the threats and temptations of Hitler. And you find that today's abomination of Jesus Christ, who says about the commandment of love. And this is very clear with Sergeant Anton, who laid down his life for his friends. This is exactly what you and I should learn from today's gospel reading. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friend. Surely, Anton Skim was a hero maybe encouraged by Christ. He laid down his life for his strangers, knowing that humanity will be saved. And this is exactly what you and I should learn, my dear brothers and sisters, on the 6th Sunday of Easter. Not just a commandment of love. Am I able to do something out of the way for my brother, for my sister, for my wife, for my children, for my husband? Am I able to do something out of the way? That is laying down all your egoism, is death. If you lay down all your egoism, my dear friends, that is death in yourself. Therefore, you are laying down your life for your friend, for your brother, for your sister. To make it very short, I like to take you to Pope Benedict XVI's encyclical on love. He sometimes brings out so much, being so orthodox in his theological thinking, brings in very practical way of thinking about the commandment of love. And therefore, I would always call the 3 surprising moves of Pope Benedict XVI. And I find it very helpful, and I like to share this to you. The 3 surprising moves of love. The first aspect that Pope Benedict XVI speaks of is love called as eros, E-R-O-S. Eros is a love. And what love is that? Love seems to impose itself. Eros is nothing but love that imposes itself. That which is within us, that which we have to do by all means, and it comes spontaneously. This is what he speaks about, the first love. Love which is within. It just happens, like parents loving their children, a man loving his beloved. And there are so many spontaneous love, and that is love that happens. They make a pledge of fidelity because it's a kind of fidelity. Yes, I will be your father, mother, I'll be your great friend, and I'll be your lover. That is to show that Pope Benedict wanted the first love to be eros, that which is from within me, to share. And therefore, many of you are surprised that you have a special love for something, special love for someone, special love for a particular activity, because it comes from within and it happens. And therefore, he moves from that part with a desire, saying that there is a tendency to wane and also become destructive. This love of eros can also become destructive. Few people fight against it fiercely than those who have not fallen in love at all. And that is how he comes to the second surprising move of love, and that is agape. Agape love is something which he desires to tell you, and this kind of love is love that makes you feel that you have received and therefore you respond. Therefore, eros is an ascending love, whereas agape is a descending love. You must very clearly know that Jesus uses these two, the ascending love and the descending love, because Jesus very clearly says, I have chosen you, you did not choose me. I have loved you, you did not love me. In other words, truly and utterly, we know that we cannot love God first. It is God who loves us. That ascending part of eros makes us love God, the agape within us, and therefore the descending part is also there. Today, my dear friends, when we look about the agape, the descending love, it makes you possible to be a self-sacrificing, self-giving person, and that is necessary in love. In other words, self-giving and self-sacrificing happens because God loved us. If God had not loved us, I'm sure you and I cannot love our neighbor and love our friend the best way possible. Therefore, it is necessary for each one of us to know the eros and the agape, the ascending love and the descending love. The third surprising move that Pope Benedict XVI tells us is the organized love. It must be jeering in your ears. Organized love? Yes, Pope Benedict very beautifully puts in, saying that the community comes together in love. The community that comes to share in love. The community that plans together in love is organized love. And today, in this modern world, when we find so many things happening in so many ways, this organized love will keep the community together. Be sure, my dear friends, when we call for an appeal that we have to support some of those people who have suffered the natural calamities, how we come together. And we organize ourselves. We make appeals, we gather money, we support them, we go out of the way. That is organized love. And today, you and I should learn to make this organized love happen in our communities, happen in our parish, so that we know Christ who died for our community, not only for our individual personality, but to the community at large. He has given that ascending and descending love because he says, I have loved my Father, and therefore I am asking you to love one another. And that is how you will come as a community to come together to make it possible to make that love happen. Then you will be able to lay down your life for your friends. Then you will be able to go another mile with love. Then you will be able to ask, I am sorry, with love. Then you will be able to say, let's walk together another mile. Let's do together a work of charity. That is the reason why, my dear friends, practicing this part of charity in the Catholic Church is an activity of believers, not of just common men or not just people, but every believer in Christ should learn to organize love and see how best you can bring that charity to all people. For charity in each individual Christian is necessary, because in addition to justice, man needs and will always need love. Today, my dear friends, Jesus says, I don't want to call you any longer servant. You are my friend. And how does that happen? It is because of the ascending and descending of love. Let now our love that we have received from the Eucharistic Lord spread to our brothers and sisters. Amen. Let us all stand.